sprite for the Jim Cornette, man.
I'm on the Beppis again.
Beppis, I have.
Who is Jim Cornette?
Who is Jim Cornette?
That's a whole other podcast.
Man.
But yeah, never played The Sims. It's one of those weird things I've never touched.
Over 1,100 hours currently on Sims 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
When's Marvel?
Marvel, baby!
I fucking suck at Marvel.
Pringles!
Yeah.
Curly Pringles!
Mustache.
Curly mustache!
Oh man!
Oh my god! I don't even know if that guy's still involved. That's like nearly 2 decades old. Curly mustache.
Curly mustache. I mean, was that Yipes? Was that?
I'm googling it now.
Oh,
I'm putting in curly mustache Marvel.
Mustache.
Where's your curly mustache at?
Is it? Is it Yipes?
Oh god! Marvel, baby!
I'm
December.
So confused.
December 7th, 2007. Yipes commentary plus Chaos
Yipes.
text overlay.
He was one of my favorite guys in the fighting game scene when I was actually keeping track of it. He was a really funny guy.
Old school.
It's Marvel,
old school,
baby.
Fighting game scene is some of the greatest shit going because it's stuff that's either never been topped since. Like everyone still talks about the Daigo.
The Daigo parry, yeah.
The Daigo parry, that's still the best.
Yeah, and I mean, it was Marvel 2 that got me into that kind of thing. So there was a big money match between, I think it was Clockwork and Neo in Marvel 2 that had like 10 grand on the line or something. And I was like, this is hype as shit. And then got into it for a few years. Pretty much stopped when Street Fighter 5 came out.
That summer where Salty Bet was the hot shit.
Yeah.
That's when I was really into I was shit at fighting games, but I was great at betting on them.
I was really into the Street Fighter Cross Tekken competitive scene for the months that lasted.
You and 5 other people.
I was so into that game.
Esports.
Oh.
I used to think I was good at fighing games.
And then you played me.
No, until Jacob ruined my life.
See, Ollie made me play Street Fighter with him, and he was like, I'm going to make my girlfriend play Street Fighter with me. And then I literally destroyed him.
Fucking button mashed her. I hadn't played Street Fighter in like 3 years.
Don't be
and
so
she
salty.
Just button
it's
mashed
technique.
her way to it.
No, it's technique, because once you master one fighting game, you can figure out other fighting games easily.
No, you can't.
Thank you. What? No, you totally can.
No, because every character's got their own move pool, and you got to learn it, and you just happen to luckily mash your way through. Who are you even playing as? You were like,
don't know.
You were Cammy, I think.
I just had some boobs.
If you scrunch on the buttons when you're playing like Street Fighter 5 or Tekken's probably the worst for it. If you just like rub your palm over the buttons in Tekken, it will not get you that far in Virtua Fighter comparatively.
But I am very good at Tekken and Soul Calibur and Mortal Kombat.
The 3D fighters are my best ones. Soul Calibur 5, I think, is the one where I had the best online record.
I used to love Soul Calibur 3. Soul Calibur 3!
Number 2's my jam. Better than that. Soul Calibur.
So Street Fighter 4 is pretty much the only fighting game where I've actually like main character and actually learned them. I felt like I'd mastered El Fuerte.
Oh, Fuerte. Street Fighter 4.
Who is your go-to in Soul Calibur then, Jacob?
Soul Calibur 2.
No, that's cheaty.
In Soul Calibur 2, it was Raphael because he was a fancy fencing boy, and then they changed his moveset in Soul Calibur 4. So then I changed to Taki/Natsu in Soul Calibur 5 and 6.
Taki scares me. Her boobs are
so fast,
fucking massive.
Yeah,
she's all meat. She's like one giant salami with tits. Honestly, for Soul Calibur, I would always play as Talim.
Talim, okay, yeah.
She's very cute. I think she's Filipino, and she has these
kawaii desu.
Yeah, she has these like crescent blade, like double knife things, and she's really cute.
The tonfa things.
Yeah, I would sometimes play as Xianghua as well.
Oh yeah.
Clearly liked the Asian ones because they were the cutest.
I got no experience with Soul Calibur.
I like Voldo.
Of course you do.
because he humps the air if you press down and down on a button.
Who what?
Voldo.
Oh, he fucking scares the shit out of me when he does that
so
back
creepy
thing. When he like does the back grab, honestly, gave me nightmares as a kid.
And then you can press the button in the first Soul Calibur, and he humps the air.
Oh,
yeah. And of course, there's tons of created characters in Soul Calibur 6 where people have just kind of bodged together a dick and balls, and then just like thrust in the air with this Voldo. Yeah.
Oh, tell you who used to give me nightmares was Tira in Soul Calibur 3.
Tira, she was cool. I liked her.
She was scary. Her crazy, but... story when she went and killed Sophitia's children.
Yeah,
was fucking terrifying.
I thought you were just going to say her tits were scary because that just scary. This one had really scary tits.
Another salami.
When did Soul Calibur become the guest star game? Like, let's choose the weirdest fucking guest stars.
Number 2 was the first one.
Two had.
So the earliest I remember is like Ezio and then Darth Vader and Yoda.
I can take you through the history because I love Soul Calibur. So I mean, technically, the first guest character was Yoshimitsu in a way.
Oh, yes,
because he was in Tekken as well.
Kind of
traveling across everything.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 had Link on GameCube, Heihachi on PS2, and Spawn on Xbox.
That's it.
Soul Calibur 3, I actually don't think had one.
No, obviously they still kept Yoshimitsu. He was just like a guy that stayed. But I don't think there was anyone particularly that was like an actual new guest on Soul Calibur 3. That's definitely the one I played the most.
Number 4 had the Star Wars characters, so Yoda, Vader, and Starkiller.
Star Wars before Ezio.
Yeah, then Ezio was in number 5, and then Geralt was in 6.
Oh, okay.
But Geralt is way too OP in
He's
6.
really good. Yeah,
he is really good. But like sorry, I'm just there's like someone put a spreadsheet together of like base stats and everything of all the characters, and he is just wildly above everybody else. That being said, at EGX when we first played this game with McGinley and Ollie, I still managed to beat them both, and Ollie was using Geralt.
Bam.
And just putting that out there.
Yeah, the guest characters always do seem to be quite strong. I remember Ezio being a pain in Soul Calibur 5, and especially Yoda as well in 4.
Yes, I was going to say Yoda in Soul Calibur 4 because his hitbox, because all the moves basically went over his head.
He's a small bean.
I suppose it makes sense though, because if someone's gonna be like, by the way, I want to use your character in my game, they're not gonna make them shit, are they?
I guess so.
They're not gonna be like, oh yeah, let's make Geralt look like a pansy.
Mortal Kombat's managed to make.
Well, that's.
I mean,
Mortal Kombat has the most.
Mortal Kombat is the monster mash.
I actually forgot about the kind of least celebrated guest character, which was Necrid in number 2 as well.
Ooh.
Necrid was a Todd McFarlane original, and he never appeared in any of the other games.
Ew. Todd McFarlane designs always make me feel ill.
He's very much of his time, isn't he?
Yeah, it's sort of like Tim Burton character designs always make me feel like slightly fluey.
You can just say his name, and you can you can just amalgamate a general kind of design in your head, just kind of being like, I need a Todd McFarlane design. You're like, bodge the pieces together, and there you go.
I thought he was going to say Bodger, like Bodger and Badger.
I would play a Bodger and Badger fighting game.
Your first enemies are Rosie and Jim.
I would like
Combat Pack 3.
I would play the hell out of a children's TV fighter.
Fucking Tinky Winky up next.
Bodger biting the head off of Basil Brush.
You got Brum.
I fucking love Brum.
You could have Bits and Bobs.
What about Mr. Blobby? That's horrifying.
Oh, final boss.
Yeah,
Mr. Blobby's your Seth.
It could be like you could have the final boss kind of
into one of his blobs.
Yeah, the final boss kind of stage could be the first round. You fight Noel Edmonds. He brings in Mr. Blobby for the second round, like Ogre and True Ogre.
He just opens a box, and then inside the box is just a random character's special.
Noel Edmund's storyline is that he's trying to redeem himself after killing a homeless man.
Wait, did Noel Edmonds kill a homeless man?
What? On live television, Noel Edmund's TV show killed a homeless man, basically.
What?
Sorry.
Please, sorry, Joel. You can't just throw that out there casually and not.
I'm laughing so much because I thought it was a joke, and now suddenly Joel's going to explain the tragic
very
story.
Serious. Is there a big allegedly that goes with this?
No, this has got like death of Michael Lush and cancellation. It cancelled
the Clockwork Orange. They just beat him to death.
Did they gunge him too hard?
No, so Michael Lush basically so the show was like notorious for having accidents because of the stunts that they would that they do. Michael Lush was killed during his first rehearsal for another live event. The stunt called Hang 'em High involved bungee jumping and an exploding box suspended at 120 feet from a 120 feet high crane. The clip basically
Oh no! I never trusted you.
The bungee ropes sprang loose and he died instantly from multiple injuries.
Did he just fall to his death?
Just hit the floor.
Fuck me.
So yeah, they killed him during the rehearsal for the live TV show.
I think Deal or No Deal is just some weird state of purgatory where he's just condemned to open boxes and talk to a guy on the phone who doesn't exist.
Noel Edmund is a fucking weirdo, and actively like just a massive hypocrite because he's actively against the television license.
Okay.
But primarily works for Channel 4.
Well, I was going to say, doesn't that just like pay his wages?
Which Channel 4 still relies on the on the television license tax because it only makes some of its money from
advertising
because it's still considered a
free like terrestrial channel. Yeah.
This was a hell of a tangent.
I'm sorry I brought him up.
Yeah. Also he's into like a weird style of yoga where he believes that the electric mat that he does yoga on gives him superpowers.
I'm completely ready for you to tell me that he's like a David Icke follower.
I like Noel Edmonds. There's a reason he's like very reclusive and stuff like that. After, like, he's just a lunatic.
I remember he was pretty weird on I'm a Celebrity.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I spent a lot of my career working with
Mr. Blobby,
the stuff of nightmares, and I think I'd be fucking traumatized.
He's reached a point where he believes Mr. Blobby was real all along.
This just brings me to Uncle Kesteven. So.
Sorry, just one more Noel Edmund thing.
Oh, God.
He believes his electronic pulse device, called the EMP pad, can cure cancer.
Of course he does.
You know, what is he into, like Scientology now?
Deadly electro-smog. He believes Wi-Fi is to blame for many of the world's ills.
Oh, God, he's one of these 5G haters.
5G truther.
Cosmic ordering.
Does he have crystals? No. I bet he gets crystals out.
No, please.
And he believes that human beings, it's impossible for us to die. There isn't such thing as death. It's just departure. You cannot
like
die.
Scientology.
It's like that one episode of Community where Pierce dies and he doesn't believe he's actually dead. He's just
because he's like a Scientologist.
And he puts himself in a lava lamp.
But then that's Chevy Chase, and he's also a lunatic. So
yeah, but Chevy Chase was written out of Community for being too much for Dan Harmon to deal with.
He was too much like his character, I think.
And Dan Harmon, if Dan Harmon writes you out for being too much for him to deal with, that's a lot because that man regularly collaborates with Justin Roiland, who is also another lunatic.
This is just the lunatic spotlight hour.
Can we
Celebrities
get Noel
are
on the podcast?
so weird. Oh my God, I would love to have Noel.
Oh my God, yes.
Is he doing anything else? I would like to hear him plug his yoga mat.
Does he have a cameo?
Noel Edmonds on OnlyFans.
Oh man,
get him in the beans.
Noli fans.
Oh, Jacob.
I'm on form today.
Oh, Noel Edmonds is actually in the news, but only via the Daily Star, the Sun, and the Mirror.
Oh, what's he done?
Because he got into a feud with Philip Schofield.
Oh, no. God!
Philip's
feuding with everyone.
Yeah, don't take on Phil.
I used to follow Philip Schofield on Snapchat purely for how often he would get drunk and find something wrong.
Noel Edmonds fled to New Zealand to avoid 1 million in debt.
Wow, maybe we should deal or no deal to see how much he pays back.
Hey,
I'm only basing that.
It's the Leave campaign. Is fuming that Mr. Edmund still owes him £1 million.
I'm not opening the link because I don't want to open a Daily Mail article. But
I've got all my ad blockers on, so they're not getting any money from me anyway. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Noel Edmonds, the Noel Edmund hour.
He doesn't have a cameo. I just looked.
He's got. I want to know if Noel Edmund. I want to know if Mr. Blobby's got a Patreon.
Do you want to just tweet him and suggest starting a cameo? Because I feel like he would accept any get-rich-quick scheme.
Money.
He needs those. He needs that £1 million.
We'll help you make it back, Noel.
We could pay £747 to have Snoop Dogg give us a cameo.
That's not very much.
I don't think Noel Edmund has a Twitter.
I think we could.
Oh my god!
We could get him a Pornhub channel. That's just like POV. I open your boxes.
We could pay the grand total of £4.15 to have the one and only Shoe Nice give us a fucking cameo.
Yes!
£4, £4.
Oh no, Joel's typing an email as we speak.
Where is he? I want Shoe Nice.
JMT has reviewed his cameo. Fantastic cameo. Thank you so much, Shoe Nice. We'll 100% be getting another.
Oh my god, there's 1,702 reviews for Shoe Nice.
He's all 5 stars. YouTube comedian, YouTube legend.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my, right.
I was on the front page of Cameo.
I think that'll be what I'm doing later.
Oh,
Just trying to figure out what I can make. Who else is on Cameo?
Loads of people. I just seen Sammy Guevara on the front page as well.
Pete Alonso. Who the fuck? What the? Recently active. Doug Cockle.
Drake Bell.
I love Drake Bell.
Yeah, man. Can just have him go like Megan.
No, that was more of a Josh Peck thing.
Sorry.
Lauren.
I didn't have Nickelodeon.
Yes.
I'm sending you a Facebook message to a Cameo account that you might want to
I'm frightened.
Look into.
Who the fuck is Duck Cockle?
What?
Don't read it out. Don't read out his profile.
Oh, I know who it is.
Oh, you can get the Dallas Zoo capybara.
What? Capybara?
Oh.
A capybara will send you a video of it just chilling out.
Oh, how much is that one? I want the capybara.
My favourite animal.
Oh, that's gonna be
£20.75.
Money well spent.
Dallas Zoo capybara.
Oh my
I
god!
fucking love capybaras. They used to be one of my favourite animals.
Well, you can chat for 82 pence.
What do you mean used to be? What did the capybara do to
Just
fall down the list?
No. It was just more. When I was a child, I was very odd. Like, about the frogs. Like, now I've just remembered the fucking birthday frog.
Oh, his name is Fred.
Oh my god!
Did you know wombats poo squares?
Yeah, they do. Oh, little compressed cubes.
Yeah, wombats poos are square.
Wow.
We always talk about poo. What is this podcast? It's a poo cast.
We've not even started yet.
Like I said, I
know, but
went away. I went away for like half an hour yesterday to get my eyebrows waxed, and God, all hell had broken loose in the group chat.
This is not.
I just opened up and there was gifs of poo being flushed down the toilet.
That was obviously fake poo, Jacob.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Down too
why?
Easy.
It wouldn't surprise me if someone could poo like that.
Why the fuck can I pay I'm a snake guy?
Oh no!
£60p to record me a video, and why is Taze on Day £33?
No, Joel, I've just had a great idea. We should get somebody. When we do ranking and we need an extra person's decision, we should pay someone on Cameo to make the decision.
Just always Shoe Nice.
We'll just ask them to send a video of their choice, and then we'll cut it into the video at the end.
We'd have to do it in like 2 major parts so that we could wait for the response.
Yeah.
So tell me, Shoe Nice, Did you prefer Final Fantasy VII Remake or Red Dead Redemption 2?
And he'll just be like, I've got brain damage.
Or we could fake it till we make it and just pay Aaron Hansen £82 to read something out for us.
As in one of the Hansen brothers.
Dan Avendan's on there too.
I know. He's also £82.
Big Danny.
I
mean, I would have him do all sorts of things if it was allowed.
Excuse me.
Danny Sexbang.
Who's
from Game Grumps?
It's
fine. He's a very handsome man, that's all.
He's nearly 40 years old,
I know, it's mental. But so is Kota Ibushi as well.
Ugh,
Can't believe Kota Ibushi's like 39 years old.
Honestly, he is just. Oh, don't get me started. He
still looks like he could be in a boy band.
He could be in my boy band. When me and McGinley decided to make a boy band out of New Japan wrestlers, he was our front guy.
Front man.
He was the face of the group. No, because we decided Okada was like the cool guy, the bad guy, you know, the one that says little.
Smooth, yeah.
Yeah, the one that doesn't say much, but all the girls want him anyway. But Ibushi is the face of the group. We put a lot of thought into this,
That's
okay?
That's
they
two
did.
members.
This was the discussion that went on while we watched this year's Wrestle Kingdom.
I see.
We spent most of the show trying to put together a boy band.
Yeah, so we've got Ibushi and Okada.
Yeah. What are those two that are already in the boy band?
Show and Yo.
Yeah, Show and Yo.
Roppongi 3K.
They were like your backup dancers.
Yeah, they were like the ones that are in there because, like, you know, they've not really got much talent, but they're in there for numbers.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Ibushi was who's the guy with the hair?
The guy with the hair.
Taichi.
The one with the really beautiful hair.
Tanahashi.
So many.
Yes, the one that always has really coiffed
his glorious
hair.
lion mane.
Yes, he was there for being pretty.
I think he's a bit old for it.
No, you would be surprised. You would be surprised.
He is
those
like
Asian
New
looks.
Japan daddy.
Yeah, you got to get all the.
I remember you omitted Naito on the basis of his slight goatee.
You wouldn't find that in it.
I don't think Naito's pretty enough.
No, he's not. Thank you, Jacob. Honestly, Ollie, how could you even suggest that?
Excuse me, speaking of wrestlers, on Cameo, for the whole price of £25, we can have Tugboat.
Oh, Red Ottman. The Shockmaster.
Or for the same price, you can have the Blue Meanie.
Oh, I don't want that. Go away, Blue Meanie.
I'm going for a wee, and then we're going to talk about some proper things.
Yeah, we should probably actually start a real podcast.
We should do.
Joel's got more than enough to work with for the preamble. Do we want the cameo chat? Do we want the Noel Edmonds chat?
Do we want the Noel Edmonds cameo chat?
Yeah. We've got to get him on there.
Well,
I found MJF's thing.
If you want to get insulted and pay for it.
£415.
Oh,
that's very in character for him. I feel like that's kayfabe.
That's super kayfabe. That's like stupid price. Like he's going like, nothing will ever. No one will ever pay for this, and then some wrestling fan will.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Ollie probably saw it. But did you hear about the guy who cameoed Alexa Bliss and asked her out?
No,
Very
I didn't
sad.
actually.
She was basically just like, yeah, sorry, I'm taken, sorry, but thanks for the money.
What happened?
Someone.
How much does Alexa Bliss charge?
Out via Cameo.
How much does she charge?
So did he like send him the Cameo?
Oh, she doesn't have it anymore, of course.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
God.
Did he send her like the script to read out of her saying yes? Or
I don't know. I don't know how Cameo really works.
I think you send them like either a request of something to answer or like.
Because you can do like happy birthdays and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe you just.
Did you also see Tony Schiavone's really funny one?
No.
Where he sings the "Lick That Pussy" song. I'm going to throw it in the chat right now. I only saw this a couple of days ago. But yeah, Tony Schiavone doing like a birthday shout out. But it's like super raunchy, yeah.
What's up, everyone? It's Tony
Schiavone. It's playing.
What happened when? And formerly World Championship Wrestling. A very special happy birthday wish goes out to Sean Kane.
Just let it roll.
Lick that pussy good. Sean, lick that pussy.
I can't listen to this. This is like.
Sean,
Oh my god.
It keeps going.
Have a great birthday, but lick that pussy good.
Lick that pussy good.
Put it away.
Sorry.
Stop browsing your Sims videos.
Stop it.
Oh god. Yeah.
Right. So
video games, huh?
I have some news that I'll share first.
Oh.
I actually found some news. It's usually not me.
Wait, have we started?
Oh, we start. Well,
No.
Is this supposed to
We've
be
not officially begun? No.
Is this supposed to be in the podcast?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
I didn't know. Oh, I suppose Joel's not done our welcome.
We've not had an intro.
Done the intro yet. Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought I saw the Great Carly on Cameo.
Oh no, Joel, close Cameo down now.
Hang on, the Great Carly is on Cameo.
Oh, how much?
£41.50p.
Oh,
that's only a tenner
worth
each.
every penny.
You wouldn't understand a word of it.
His profile is the Great Carly is an Indian American professional wrestler, promoter, and actor. 7'1" in weight, £374.
I mean, he's a very big deal over in India still, so I'm sure he probably makes money off that.
Jinder Mahal's world title.
He did. He wouldn't give it back. He just came in, helped him win, and then wouldn't give the belt back.
The only thing that was better was his Instagram profile with his picture with the world heavyweight title, and it was written on in Sharpie, the Great Carly, because it was just someone's replica.
God.
We shouldn't mock the man. He has giganticism.
Life is genuinely a struggle.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's got giganticism in his brain. He's the first man with a smooth brain.
He's Ken Griffey Jr. in the softball episode.
All-time classic.
I love when people on Reddit are like, the Great Carly used to be great at wrestling. He came to WWE with his legs broken, and stuff like that. And it's just like,
they use
and
that
it's the one
reference
clip
of him jumping over the top rope.
And then you actually watch the match, and he's still as bad as he was during WWE. It's just that his legs were done in WWE.
Them knees.
Oh my god! When he used to just crush their head with his hand, and that was like
when he just squashed Rey Mysterio's skull.
Basketballs don't hold grudges.
The Great Carly is so shit.
They had the little vignettes of him backstage crushing a watermelon.
Yep.
The best is the WWE shop that he had to advertise.
Oh my god, I still have that video in like my liked videos or something. I'm Stooge. Wow.
Please get on with the show.
Okay.
3 o'clock and we've not started.
Okay. Hello and welcome to BeansTalk, the only show where we like the Great Carly for his wrestling skills.
Don't speak for yourself, please.
Yeah.
Joining me this week, I am Joel Loynes, by the way. Joining me this week is Jacob Dickens.
I far prefer Jinder Mahal.
And Ollie Saville.
#1 Carly fanboy.
And Lauren Best.
I am worried about this week.
It's 3 o'clock. We've been going for an hour and we've still not started the show. It's a great Sunday afternoon. I'm feeling like those David Lynch weather report videos at the minute. If I look outside, it's sunny, but it's grey. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
I feel like you're going a little bit into Mr. Plinkett.
This is what David Lynch sounds like.
Is it though?
It kind of is.
It is.
It kind of really is.
How is everybody?
Oh, I'm here.
No, I'm not quite sure.
Already been on a journey today, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, good otherwise.
Well,
this is a strong open.
It is.
We're so good.
Hang on, let me inject some enthusiasm into this.
I think
2020 and it's a Saturday.
See, he does sound like that.
I was going to inject enthusiasm, but you've just sucked it all away.
Wow.
So should we talk about Lauren? You said before we started recording that you had some actual news
I have
to
some
share.
Actual news is pushing it.
Okay,
breaking news.
Exclusive.
Okay,
Big
so
world
you
comes
may
round.
already know this. However, breaking news, important information, public service announcement. It has been confirmed that in the Spider-Man Miles Morales, you can carry Spider-Cat in your backpack.
I saw that.
She's been holding on to this one all day.
I am so excited about this news.
Really proud of herself that she can announce that you have the cat.
Yeah, but you can put him in your backpack.
You do. Does he have a mask on?
I don't know, but I would carry him across New York.
Can he breathe?
And he helps you with attack finishes and stuff like that.
What a good guy! What good little egg! I would swing around with the little puss.
That cat is just gonna turn to mush inside the backpack.
No,
like
very special.
You're gonna slam into the side of a building one too many times, and eventually open up that bag and just find a
cat jelly
feline smoothie.
Horrible.
It's true though.
Well, no, he's Spider-Cat, so he's special.
No, he's that. I don't know. That entire dedicated trailer thing for just the cat in a bag was just like, right, okay, I guess.
Well, I was just happy to finally have some news because usually it's just me sitting there along for the ride.
I have actually thought of some news that did happen that I'm not sure if anyone else remembers or not. But
go for it.
The video came out of the PlayStation 5's UI.
It did. Guess what I didn't do?
Watch it.
I didn't watch it.
I had a look. They moved some stuff around slightly.
More or less, yeah. It's very similar functionality-wise. It just kind of looks a bit nicer, I would argue.
Just hopefully, give it a little spruce.
Hopefully it runs better, because I don't know if you've tried to browse the PSN store recently with the PlayStation 4.
It's always a bit chunky, yeah.
It is quicker for me to load up my computer, set it to download, go upstairs and turn it on my PlayStation so that the download will restart remotely than it is to try and browse the PlayStation Store directly on the console.
Fair.
Also, speaking of the PlayStation kind of UI, there's a few people are getting a bit scared because they found out Sony record them. Or will be recording them.
Yeah, so this is more in line with like the right to record them. I don't know, whatever whatever agreement you end up. It's more of covering their bases because they're allowing people to report people within a party for audio that they've said now rather than text.
So they're using it as evidence.
Yeah,
Wait,
So basically, if you join a clan and you're the wrong type of clan,
yikes!
You can basically start reporting them for audio purposes rather than.
What if someone's like saying mean things?
Yeah, basically.
I don't think we're gonna get the cops showing up because.
No, it's just more like
a child said he banged your mum.
Yeah, it's more of like, hey, this person was actively racist and bigoted on voice chat, so please suspend his account or whatever.
When
so
said
he doesn't...
clan, I was just like, oh, so if you join it and it's like, oh, this clan is for mages only, but you're a bard and you join it, and then everyone's like, holy fuck, it's when you join a clan and they all turn out to be grand wizards with pointy hats.
Yes. With pointy hats.
Okay, I'm very oblivious, and my mind goes to innocent places first.
When the ghoul brigades show up,
you like to think the best of the human race, but
I shouldn't really. We're fucking awful.
Yeah.
Look at all these guys; they're dressed as ghosts.
It's Halloween after all. Nothing's scarier than a human.
That's right.
Okay.
So,
but yeah, it was vaguely worth mentioning at the very least. Otherwise, I can't really think of anything. I'm just looking at Polygon right now, and there's another Spider-Man related article that says they've now switched the shoes that Miles is wearing from Air Jordans to Adidas. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Hot takes.
Sponsorships.
Adidas.
I'm sure it's enough to get someone genuinely mad because
Michael
God
Jordan.
damn it, he wears Jordans in my comics.
Yeah.
I don't think he wears any branded shoes in the comics because
I think he wears Jordans in Into the Spider-Verse. I think that's probably
because Sony's got that money. The comics division of Marvel definitely does not have the money to start doing
licensing them
out. I don't know. There's not a lot of news going. We're in that weird limbo before like the consoles launch, and there's nothing really. And like November's not started, so like games aren't starting to come out.
Blizzard have officially ended new content development for StarCraft 2. Great.
Yeah, it's like guys, you've done the bare fucking minimum for that game and that community for the last 5 to 6 years.
I hope you know that also because we were looking at the Great Khali on Cameo. Now under the adverts at the bottom of the page, I've got those like clickbaity articles. It's like, remember him? Wait till you see him now. Photos here. There's a picture of the Great Khali.
I've got full-on Cameo coming up on my sponsored posts on Facebook now with Doug Cockle and James Buckley. And he's the guy from In-Betweeners. And
I don't know who any of these people are. Mike Pence?
No, it says connect with the fly on Mike Pence's head. It's not Mike Pence. It's the fly that landed on Mike Pence's head.
The official Fly's Cameo account.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I got some news stories here.
Go ahead.
They're not really news stories. They're more of like, hey, Ollie, Digimon Survive is still existing.
It got delayed.
It got delayed to 2021.
I think this is the first we've heard from this game in like 2 years, and it's announced a delay.
I think like last year, Namco had to come out and say like the game isn't dead. Please just stand by. We've got nothing to show you at the minute.
Yeah. So for Jacob, Digimon Survive is a Fire Emblem-y, grid-based strategy type game.
Supposedly.
Yeah. I don't. Has there even been any gameplay, or was it just screenshots?
Nope. It's literally been like some small screenshots.
There was like basically just an anime trailer, and then some screenshots, and that's kind of all that's been seen from it. Kind of odd bits of news. It sounds really interesting, and then it just vanished.
Wow.
So I guess
it basically vanished because I guess development slowed down on it very quickly. Also, then COVID started. So they delayed it into 2021. And then speaking of Japanese games, Atelier Ryza 2.
Oh yeah.
Released in Japan in December, getting released in Europe January 29th.
Ooh, well, this gives me a bit of time to actually complete the first one.
I can't believe you've not finished that game yet. That game speeds the fuck up as soon as you get past that first boss.
Yeah, I'm at the first boss still. I haven't touched it since because then I got Spiritfarer, which I still need to complete, and then the problem is I have a real
The problem is you start a game and then you play the game for about 10 hours and then you go back to Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I have commitment issues, okay? I always go back to, like, the old abusive boyfriend in Animal Crossing or Sims. Like, I just can't help it. It's comforting,
Tom Nook is slapping you around.
But I like it, and I'm just awful. I'm just awful, okay? I have a real bad commitment issue. But I will, because I would like us to be able to talk about it, Joel.
Yes. Also, because I realised I finished that game, like, 3 months ago now.
Ooh, well,
which is a terrifying thought that time has just basically sped up and not existed in my life for the last... when did March happen?
So many Marches ago.
So many Marches ago. And then Sega are having like their big sale on Steam.
Yes,
at the minute.
I saw that actually. There's the 3 games you can get for free, limited edition. Like it's a limited time. There's 3 games that you can download for free, and they're all new games.
Yes. So, no. So there's actually a news story that ties in with this. So there is a Yakuza Streets of Rage crossover thing.
Yes.
That replaces the characters with Kiryu and Majima.
Nice.
But then the more interesting one is Golden Axed.
I saw a news story about this.
Yes, so this is basically the vertical slice that was developed behind the scenes of like a potential Golden Axe reboot. And then there is the news story of the developer, the developer that was involved, who actually went on to go make Android Assault Cactus, that indie game, joystick shooter. That's really, really good. I recommend that to everybody. But basically, he said like, "Hey, I coded this in 2012 under crunch conditions."
Yeah,
and you guys just put it out there as if it's like a weird, like
a free nice thing that they did.
And it's like, no, you guys made me code and like make this under 2 weeks, and then also rejected it almost immediately. And this is what spurred me and my teammate to go on and into the indie development scene, because fuck big games.
It's a strong name though.
What?
Golden Axed.
Golden Axed.
Because it got axed. Get it?
Axed. Hey. That was clever.
Yeah, no, he says it was made under like terrible pressure, especially at the same time that they were trying to make another game. What other game did they made something else at the same time? Oh, they'd done that Castle of Illusion remake prototype. So they made that in 2 weeks, and then and then someone turned around to them and went, "Hey, you can do this, can't you?" And then basically the management at Sega were like, "Hey, why isn't this like God of War?" And it's like, because you asked for a Golden Axe remake, not a God of War remake.
Yeah,
with Golden Axe stuff in it.
Yeah.
So it's got that skeevy. There's always something skeevy with these things.
Yeah.
It's like it's one. It's very cool that it's out there, but two, like now there's the reality of like how this thing was birthed.
Yeah.
And it's very obviously someone at Sega basically going like, "Hey, we found this on the files." There's a Armor of Heroes as well, which is a 4-player PvP couch co-op destructible environment game with 9 game modes.
How many keywords can we fit in this one description?
And it's got mixed reviews. I don't know. It's a dual stick shooter.
I will forget about it instantly after this podcast.
Well, so this is the thing: is like these games are going away very soon.
Yeah, I literally just logged on as you were talking and downloaded the Streets of Camarocho thing.
Yeah, that's the only one that really matters. I think that seems to be the one that's.
And Sonic 2 is free as well.
Oh well.
I was like, yeah, why not? I ain't got it on Steam.
Oh well, no one really. That's Sonic 2.
You shut up, Joel.
I would like Joel to play Sonic 2.
I would like Joel to play Sonic 2.
I'd like a crossover between Sonic and Crash Bandicoot.
I would
really, really troll Joel.
I would rather
troll Joel.
I would rather have my lungs removed.
Fucking hell.
Sonic do to you?
Be shit.
Oh, wow.
Jacob is so salty right now.
The only other real news is like iPhone 12s.
Oh yeah, I guess that kind of counts.
I watched that entire presentation.
Didn't even know it was happening.
It was the weirdest fucking presentation I think Apple have done in a long time. Because it was just Tim Cook in an empty theater talking about 5G.
Yeah.
Which kind of,
But what does Noel Edmonds think of this?
Well, see, this is the thing. He brought Noel Edmonds on the stage. Noel Edmonds went, 5G is the cure.
It took me a while to realise that you were joking about Noel Edmonds being involved.
No, he did bring on some dude onto the stage, and they had to stand 6 feet away, which was really funny, because they've definitely been in a marketing meeting room together. And the guy had
appearances there.
Yeah, they've got to look like they're doing it. But also, like, Tim Cook was just like, every person in this on this presentation was like talking about 5G as if it's the first time a phone has had internet capabilities.
I already have a 5G phone. They're so late.
Well, so this is the thing. They said that 5G only matters now that we're in it.
Oh, fuck off.
The big boys have come to play.
Which, to be honest, is kind of true. Because for America at least, because America basically Verizon launched their like 5G network at this event, which was really weird. Like, they've been holding it back for the iPhone.
I would accept this from Apple stan Jacob Dickens, but not from you, Joel.
Oh no, I was laughing the whole way through this presentation because they were like, and now you'll be able to play League of Legends on your phone. And it was just like...
That was the point I found out that it was going on because my brother texted me about it. He was like, League of Legends is coming to iPhone. I'm like, I already knew.
I've been pre-registered for League of Legends on Android and iOS for the last year.
I dare say I'll try it out, but I never want to get sucked into League of Legends again.
Hey, guess what? It's going to be exactly like all the other Tencent 5v5 MOBAs that are already in development and already out there. Yeah, the presentation was weird. Like, a guy stood in an anechoic chamber and being like, our 5G signals are amazing. I can hear them in the anechoic chamber. And it was just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? 5G signals.
5G.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
He's got his thread. He's drawing 5G in the air. But then also they said like 5G is going to change the world because if you're a doctor and need to download X-rays, you can do it on the street corner.
What?
Because this is an example of real life use that they could find for 5G. Is a doctor
what's he doing? Downloading a fucking X-ray for a prostitute? Why is he on a street corner?
Just having his macchiato in Starbucks. Wants to have a look at an X-ray.
Oh, I fancy some bones.
Yeah,
and
that's the reading.
But the sad thing is like the 5G in America only works on street corners because that's where the antennas are, and because the way that they've built it is like you've got to be in direct. You've got to basically stand directly in front of the antenna to get the 5G speeds.
I'm now getting visions of doctors running down all the hospital corridors and like, I've got to get to a street corner. I need this X-ray. And they're like running out in their coat, pushing through all these stretchers and dying people just so that they can run out to the street corner and download their X-ray.
I've got to log into League of Legends Wild Rift to get my daily reward.
Yeah. I get a skin shard.
That's all the news I've got. Oh, and also Magic the Gathering finally banned the cards that were an issue.
Hey,
well
done.
So guess what? The game's fun now, and I've been playing that regularly for the last week.
Maybe I'll have to give it a go.
I have not been on it for a while. Wait, do you have it online, Jacob?
Arena?
Yeah.
I played Arena back when it was in beta, and when it launched as well. And didn't play it for much longer after launch. Yeah, I knew it was for as cool. As I've said on previous podcasts, I'm like really thinking about getting back into it because Hearthstone's pretty much a done thing for me now. I don't want to go back to it really.
Jacob has completed Hearthstone.
I have, much like Animal Crossing was Lauren's abusive partner. Hearthstone was mine. And I'm out of that toxic relationship now.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
And ready to jump straight into Magic the Gathering.
Which, I'm sure is a great decision.
I definitely think that we need like an AA meeting for like gacha games and this kind of problem.
That's one thing worth mentioning. I guess that would kind of segue quite nicely into Genshin Impact as well, is that I don't have any real desire to play that anymore.
What was the turning point for you?
It's really weird because it wasn't like they did anything really wrong. It was just like there was one point where I had to listen to about 10 minutes of story and I was just like, I just don't care. I collected like 8 characters and I was like, yeah, all right. But for some reason I just like completely shut myself off from it. I was like, I just don't really care anymore.
So I cracked and bought the Battle Pass. Just the £10 one.
Yeah.
And then realised oh no, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But I think that might actually be partially because the PC port is so fucking weird in like how it operates that it's like a hassle to use. Like there's no borderless full screen mode.
Oh.
So every time I want to change like the YouTube video or change what podcast I'm listening to while I'm playing, because I have all the audio muted, so you know I'm just playing this game, you know, silently basically. You have to alt tab out and it freaks the fuck out every single time, and so I put it in windowed mode and that still freaks the fuck out, and every time I load it up you've got to set it to recognize your controller.
Of course, yeah.
It's just a fucking pain in the ass. So maybe when I get a new phone, like you know, I might jump back in when it's easier to actually play.
Yeah, it's weird because the original PS4 version is probably, I would also say, is not the way to do it. I guess the PS4 Pro or the mobile would be the way to go, which is strange.
Yeah, the PC port, you know, it's great to see it in 4K and everything, but like that. But oh my god, I've started to hit the gacha moments of that game, and it's surprisingly cruel. With like
with the resin and stuff.
The resin stuff is fine. Like there are worse things like that. It's the fusion and the actual rolling of getting characters and stuff where it's impossibly fucking cruel. Like it's not only like, you know, really hard to get hold of the primo gem things, which is understandable. Like that's the paid currency.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Like, it's just like the last 4 or 5 roles I've had have had no characters in them.
Ooh.
And then also to upgrade any of the characters to, you know, anything worth a damn, you have to have multiple of the same characters to feed them into.
Yeah. Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. So like so it's like you gotta roll them again to get like the constellation stuff up.
What the fuck? I'm never gonna get more Diluc and more Jean. I was lucky enough to get them the first time.
So this is the thing: you can level them up, but you know, past like the max level cap and stuff like that, and upgrade and ascend them. But to get anything worth a damn out of them for end game content is, you know, you need multiple of these characters.
They're missing a bunch of skills and stuff.
Gross.
Yeah. So it's turned me off in that way, but also it's turned me off because of just like the hassle of like actually trying to do something while I'm playing it. Is, you know, I don't want to make a YouTube playlist of Simpsons clips. I just want to be able to like with Magic Arena, where I can just, you know, I've got it in full screen borderless, so on my other screen I've got, you know, YouTube going, so if the video ends I can just swipe them out. So yeah, there's no hassle. But this is, I don't know. Also like I'm finding, you know, I've now seen basically every enemy the game has to offer. And some of the later boss, like alternate, you know, optional boss stuff is the fights are kind of boring.
Yeah, maybe that was one of the walls I hit with it as well. Was a lot of the combat ended up being quite similar.
It's quite it doesn't have a lot of depth as a
no, and I think that's partially because, you know, they're considering mobile phones first.
Yeah.
You can't exactly, you know, have Devil May Cry start. You know, if this game had like Devil May Cry or like, you know, typical anime fighting, you know, where you can jump and start doing combos in the air and stuff like that, I'd probably be more into it. But you can't do that shit on a phone, especially when the phone version doesn't accept Bluetooth controllers.
Jeez. I think if you take everything away and you still look at it as a game that was intended for mobile, it's still very good.
Oh yeah.
But I think this is the problem that I thought I was going to have before I played it, is that like I'm always going to want more, and you're not necessarily going to get that because it's technically a free-to-play game and you're getting a lot for not paying anything. But then I'm going to want the things that you would get if this was just a paid-for game.
Yeah. I kind of wish there was like a... I like technically there is a monthly subscription. You know, the Battle Pass is that for this game, but I would pay £8.90, £8 a month or whatever, for like a subscription version where it sort of like eases the gacha stuff. So where they know that you're giving them a monthly fee.
Yeah.
So they just ease off the gacha stuff for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not on my knees, begging for Diluc and Jean and stuff like that, top tier characters, because I'm kind of happy with my team at the minute. I've got my 5 people that I use, or my 6 people that I use, because Jingling's move to make fire come out doesn't work with the switches that when you have to do them quickly, doesn't really work that way. But
Ooh.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I like that game a hell of a lot, and I probably will go back to it when I have a phone that can probably play it a little better than the one I've got at the minute.
I was really into it for like a weekend, and now I'm like, I don't really need to play anymore.
Yeah, like there was that first week where I was just like non-stop all the time. But also like I'm finding like the story slows down in such a way. Like the prologue ends on like a really big climax, and then chapter 1 starts, and you're like, fucking hell, I've been playing this game for 15 hours nearly, and you're only now getting into chapter 1.
Yeah, mental.
But I like the second area they send you to. It's more Chinese themed than Mondstadt, which is like what I'm assuming the Chinese team thinks of an old school English town.
Yeah,
you get very like old European vibes.
Yeah, so and then this is like the Chinese team thinking of what like Americans and Europeans probably think of like old school Chinese villages and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I've not written it off, but it's not one that I'm playing every day.
I literally entirely forgot to even write it into my little list of things that I've been playing, and I actually just remembered it just now because I stopped very shortly after our last podcast.
Yeah,
it's not going back.
It also has the weird like omission of like what other gacha games have, which is the daily login. If it had like the carrot on the stick every single day of logging in instead of just like battle pass points, I would probably be logging in just
bonus,
to.
Isn't it?
Yeah, no, they stopped. There's that 7-day daily login bonus, and then that ended, and they only put that in because the Chinese fans complained, like, "Yo, you're rinsing us for money, and there's no daily login bonus." And now it's just like, now if you want daily login bonus, you have to sort of like
buy the thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Ollie and Jacob, you guys have been playing Hades.
Yeah, Hades update.
Yeah, I've been playing a small amount of Hades this
morning.
I've
been playing a hell of a lot of Hades.
Yeah, I came downstairs yesterday after you beat the game, and I was like, "Oh, did you see Jacob beat Hades?" And he was just like, "Fucking prick."
I am no further in Hades.
You're the only one who hasn't completed it now.
I hit a wall where I realised I'm not very good.
I think I hit that wall as well, though, and it's literally just a case of, I think to me it was approaching it with the mindset where it's like no run is strictly a wasted one, because you're always going to be making yourself at least a little bit stronger each time. So you'll eventually get to the point where you are kind of buff enough to bust through whatever that wall is, and also you'll have a better understanding of the kind of combos of stuff to put together and whatever.
Yeah, I have kind of a build, it's pretty much as I mentioned last week. I have a build that I favor. I'm still at the point of trying to take the glowy purple weapons to get that darkness boost, because
I was doing that too. Yeah,
I'm just trying to grind for that extra death defy, because I think once I've kind of got that maxed out, that's the point where I'm going to be able to actually get a run to the end, because I'm still not even close.
Because I mean, when you've got that on top of the skelly
the
keepsake,
tooth,
lucky tooth, when you've got 3 death defies for that final fight, is a nice thing to fall back on.
Yeah, I find myself quite regularly wasting one of the death defies on the first boss, not Meg. I can usually beat Meg. It's when it's one of her sisters.
Electo or Tisiphone,
Yeah, I think it's Tisiphone.
Yeah.
I just end up with something wasted on there. So if I get a decent run, it's usually either the shield, as I mentioned, with the just kind of bounce off everything, get the AoE lightning attack on it, or the bow as well. I know you mentioned the rapid fire boon, which kind of fucks everything because you can just back yourself into a corner
and just kind of fire off.
Yeah, I tend either of those is where I've got my furthest runs going. Anything else is when my skill level lets me down, I guess.
Yeah, I've also been kind of trying to. I usually let the game kind of dictate to me what weapon I'm going to be using with the bonuses on the darkness, and I've now also got it so it gives you 20% bonus gems as well. So I've kind of still cycling through the weapons, and my first one that I completed yesterday was completely unexpected because I really didn't think I liked the shield very much, and then I had a really nice kind of first couple of upgrades for the special for the throw, and I was like, should I just like entirely focus on this throw because Ollie seemed to like it, and that's what ended up taking me to the end. It was mainly a combination of kind of buffing up the special and also having the dash that deflects things, which is so useful. It's possibly one of my favorite kind of boons you can get in the game is the Athena dash. And then yesterday night at like 2:30 in the morning, I managed to beat the game again. With
you lucky bastard.
I know, with a super lucky build of because I had the aspect of Chiron on the bow, so when you fire off your special, it shoots all of the arrows. They like home on to the last enemy that got hit by your normal attack.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So I used that with a big Aphrodite buff to the special to make it inflict weak and do more damage. And then I also found a Daedalus hammer that like basically doubled the amount of shots my special would do. So it was completely broken. It was like playing the game on easy mode, and I was obscenely lucky. There was no skill involved to begin with. But yeah, it was easily the best build I've got. I took a screenshot of it and everything.
Yeah, like my third beating of the game I've not beaten the game since it went version 1. But like so pre version 1, like my third run was basically just dashing around the final boss with Zeus's lightning striking him. Because it was because of the way the last boss consistently attacks. It was always like if you dash before like an enemy attacks, a lightning bolt will strike. And so because I'm just pinging around the room with the shield and just like a fucking ping pong ball from one end to the other, like he went down. Yeah, he went down pretty fucking quickly because it just couldn't touch me, and then was also getting struck by lightning. I haven't played that game in a couple of weeks, and every time we talk about it, I'm like, I should play that game, and then something always comes up.
I don't know what it was, but it was like there was one point just this week where it just really clicked for me, and I was just like, this is all I can think about. This is all I want to play, and just absolutely no lifed it for a good few days, and
So now that you've actually escaped, do you kind of feel the same desire to go back to it?
Or well, there's still a lot to do.
Think it's going to die
even
down?
After the first time that you get out, there's still a lot to go back and do because there's still so much to upgrade. They kind of add in challenges you can do after the game.
I suppose you've got all like the cosmetics as well, just upgrading the house.
And also from a narrative perspective as well, they do give you a reason to keep doing it.
Oh yeah, like there is so much narrative stuff that
there is definitely a reason to keep escaping.
Like you'll do 50 run. I've done nearly 70 runs or something now, and I have not seen a repeat in the narrative stuff. I think the only stuff I've seen repeated is whenever I go and stroke Cerberus.
Oh yeah.
Just because I think like there's no interaction there, so you know
there's only so much you can do with petting a dog.
Yeah, and of course there's also I don't know if there's ever any kind of anything ever comes of it, but there's also all the little side stories that are still going on. So I've got kind of Achilles and Patroclus and
Yeah, there's
and Eurydice as well.
There's totally a reason to invest all that nectar into all the different characters in the house and that you meet along the way, because you can end up with romance stuff and
yeah.
Now I'm interested.
Just want to ship the gods.
I enjoy a romance sim.
I wouldn't say it's a sim. I'd say it's more of like how would I describe it?
Like friendship progression thing.
Yeah, like in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I can't have Dionysus become my boyfriend.
No.
Oh.
Love.
I'm interested again.
I think the romance options are
between the gods.
No, Thanatos, Meg, and Dusa.
You can romance Thanatos.
What? So your character romances them, or they romance someone else?
No, you romance them.
Okay.
Thanatos, really?
Yeah.
Dusa, really?
The more you play, the more that Thanatos starts appearing in your game, the more you will realize, like, hey, these two are pretty fucking gay for each other.
Sounds good.
How gay is it on a scale of that to Ryza and what's her name, Claudia?
It is the same level.
Absolutely.
Except it's a friendly rivalry instead of like overly friendly with each other.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain this Dusa aspect based on the fact that Dusa is a floating Medusa head.
I'm related to this.
Figure it out.
I actually saw a Dusa cosplay yesterday.
Did they give her a body?
They did have a body. It was not very accurate. But
that would be spoilers, but
Ollie, you need to romance that head for science.
On it.
And also I don't think there's any consequences for romancing
everyone.
Everybody.
This gets around.
I think they want you to see all that content, because there's also specific interactions, like if you romance Thanatos and then romance Meg, you'll get a specific conversation
about
not about jealousy, more of like, like, hey, don't worry about it.
Oh.
If I had to choose one, it would be Meg.
Are there any jokes about if you get with Dusa about getting head?
Being hard.
I haven't specifically looked up the Dusa stuff. All I know is that it's an option.
Something turning me to stone.
Also, I think one of my favorite parts of the game is going into the little kitchen area and watching the Shade chop up the fish. That animation is smooth as fuck.
I bet it's smoother than Spider-Man with Aunt May chopping that one fucking carrot.
Oh, Aunt May just endlessly chops the single carrot
throughout the whole game until her death.
Spoiler.
Okay, maybe bleep that out for people.
Until her bleep. Yeah, we
until her stew.
We found that in the feast shelter that she is just there endlessly chopping.
The same fucking carrot.
Again, a strange state of purgatory.
This is how she helps the homeless.
One carrot to feed them all.
Yeah.
Speaking of carrots,
where's this going?
I restarted playing Control.
Excuse me.
How is that carrot related? Root vegetable?
There is. Don't worry about it.
Carrots.
Yeah, I know. I started playing Control again. I haven't touched it in since I got. I played it for like a solid week when I got my PC. Fell off the bandwagon, and I don't know why. It's just one of those games. Thought I'll go replay this, and then I realized like, oh no, it's going to take forever. But now that I kind of know what I'm doing up until the point that I stopped playing, it's like, oh no, this is actually pretty. This is just a regular video game. This is just a regular video game.
I definitely intend on playing that. I was thinking of picking up the PS5 version when that drops. Just for that ray tracing.
It's not the ray tracing. It's more of like the PS4 and PS4 Pro versions. I think don't run particularly well.
Okay.
From what I've heard, especially the regular PS4 version, and then same with the Xbox One X. The Xbox One X runs it fine and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I would recommend getting that Ultimate Edition for future PS5s.
And I 100% want to try that Alan Wake DLC because.
So this is what spurred me on to
more Alan Wake. Inject it into my asshole.
So I've.
Fuck's sake, Holly.
Carry on.
Read the room.
It's all a lake.
Please carry on.
Okay, so no, the Alan Wake crossover thing. I read like the premise for the DLC, which is basically like the apparition of Alan Wake appears, and says like, "Hey, come to this area of the oldest house, which is the setting for Control, which is a supernatural, ever-evolving building that the Federal Bureau of Federal Bureau of Control, the FBC, has made their offices.
We don't own the rights to the FBI.
Well,
they're
because
still licensed by EA Sports.
The CIUSA. No, the federal. So should I go back? What is Control? Like that might actually make this.
It, yeah.
Yeah, Control is Remedy's who made Alan Wake, Max Payne, and Quantum Break. I hate Quantum Break with a passion. I didn't
think you were a big fan of Max Payne either, Joel.
No, I am a huge fan of Max Payne 1 and 2. I would class Max Payne 2 as one of my favorite games.
Max Payne 3 stuff.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Max Payne 2, especially. Like, I'd say that's one of my favorite games. Max Payne 3 is a fucking travesty. That's made by Rockstar. Like, they bought they used their publishing rights to basically just take Max Payne away from Remedy.
We still got all that footage.
Somewhere on a hard drive somewhere there is the entire playthrough of Max Payne 3. I've got all of MGS4 if you want that.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know why I've still got it. That file was created in 2014.
Pop it on while I'm cooking or something.
My playthrough of MGS4.
I did watch you play some Mario Sunshine as I was cooking, and you were saying about how you wanted to squish a Pianta.
Yes. I just think that they made a cartilage.
Yeah. Squidgy.
No, so Control is a third-person shooter in the style more akin to Max Payne than Alan Wake or Quantum Break, which they're like slower paced. This is very fast paced. Like, you will die very quickly if you're not careful. But it's got supernatural powers. You can levitate, throw stuff with psychic powers, and etc. You play as Jessie Faden. She basically finds the Federal Bureau of Control, which took something, been involved in. They're basically like the Men in Black, effectively. Except they deal with supernatural entities. So at the minute, I'm investigating a fridge, which is always got to be watched because it's erratic in behavior.
So what is the connection with this to the whole kind of SCP mythos?
So the way that it connects to Alan Wake, basically.
No, it isn't Control supposed to be related to the kind of SCP stuff?
SCP?
The containment.
The monsters, the very large fanfic. I don't know how to explain SCP.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Fictional organization documented by web-based collaborative fiction fiction project of the same name. Yeah. Basically, yeah. So like a weird like other entity that connects. That's in the world.
I'm sure I heard Control was like loosely based off some SCP stuff. I don't know if I'm imagining this.
So there is a giant pyramid that talks to Jesse, basically, who has taken up the mantle of the director because she found the body of the previous director after he blew his brains out everywhere.
Are we intentionally using Illuminati imagery here?
Sort of.
Do you get a big eye anywhere?
No big eye, but the pyramid speaks in code. So it's so there is a paranormal TV that's an entity that leads into a boss fight, and you cleanse the TV, and then it pops up in the subtitles like in basically it's gibberish. It'll translate it in the subtitles, and it's just like, this is how you're going to unlock. Basically, it's telling you like levitation, and it calls it like I can't remember what it's got. It's got an actual name, like, and then it also next to it, it's always like a sort of sarcastic variation on what they've just told you. That's very serious. So it's like, imagine it says like television / babysitter.
Right.
So that's how it communicates with you. It's very weird, and the nice thing about it is that it's super, super fucking weird, but it doesn't treat you like an idiot. So there is you basically just sort of take it at face value, and you're like, oh yeah, no, okay. They start talking about HRAs, and you're just like, what's an HRA? Oh, it must be that thing that they're wearing. Because they're all like, the HRA protects us, and it's just like, oh, okay, right,
yeah, they don't beat you over the head with an explanation.
No, there is like all the exposition and explanations for stuff are all in the collectibles that are littered around the oldest house.
So it's the kind of game where you're gonna have to kind of browse the wiki after you've played it to make sense of the story.
No, so the story seems
Reddit threads.
They sort of like, there's people with theories and stuff like that, but a lot of it's self-explanatory. It's just like, hey, something possessed like this rubber duck, and now it does weird shit. And we're trying to see how to make it. And like, there's tapes and stuff like that of like a woman like talking to the rubber duck to see if that's how she can get it to do whatever it did. And then further before or like after that, you'll find like a document that'll like detail like even further of like what her experiments found and stuff like that. So it doesn't treat you like an idiot, which I really, really like, because it's, it seems very heavily inspired by like a David Lynch, like Alan Wake was.
Yeah, well, it was kind of the same with Alan Wake.
Alan Wake straight up had the police office from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, and you also had the manuscripts that you were finding along, which were kind of telling a lot of the story that was missed from the game itself.
The dialogue, yeah.
Yeah, so and then obviously you had the like the Bright Falls TV show that you could kind of piece things together with. So it just seems quite a Remedy thing.
So all the Remedy tropes, from Alan Wake of like the TV. Show, the fake TV show, the documents and stuff like that all carried over into Quantum Break, and now it also in Control.
So, like, canonically, does this take place in the same universe as Alan Wake?
So that's what the DLC does. Is Alan Wake? So they call like basically like events that have happened in the world where the Bureau of Control have basically gone in and done Men in Black stuff, either tied up loose ends or taken the item away and erased people's minds and stuff like that. The entirety of Alan Wake was one of these events.
Okay, so this kind of retcons Alan Wake as more than just spooky business?
Yes.
Okay. Are we now saying Aliens did it?
Not Aliens. Alternate dimension something.
Okay, so it's still spooky business.
So it's still spooky business. Like Control, the best thing about Control is that it is very, whereas Alan Wake is like very deep within its supernatural elements, and Quantum Break was deeply based within its sci-fi time travel stuff.
Wait, so is Quantum Break linked as well, or is that just been forgotten about?
I think it's potentially linked, but we can't really do anything with it because we
Remedy-verse.
Keeping it vague.
Keeping it vague, mostly because like we used actual actors for and their faces. Like Lance Reddick is in that game as the villain, as one of the villains, and the guy who played Iceman in the X-Men movies is the main character. So like, hey, they're expensive to bring back, so we'll probably just say, I think it's like I bet it's connected, but Alan Wake
reference it far and away, but that's about it.
Yeah. So like, but it's also like, if you're a Remedy fan, it's also like great to see the guy who played Alan Wake back in the saddle, because he plays a completely different character in Control. He plays Casper Darling, which is the crazy scientist who does all the weird experiments and stuff like that, and like they keep talking about him like, yeah, he came in here and he was tearing his clothes off, and we've not seen him since. But like going back to like it's not treating you like an idiot, like the combat, it also plays into that. The main enemy is called the Hiss, which are possessed people from around, possessed staff and stuff like that. It's much harder than Quantum Break was, and Quantum Break was pretty fucking tough at times. And it's much faster than Alan Wake. It's more akin to going back to Max Payne 1 and 2. Like but it's also infinite bullets, because you've got this magical gun basically.
I just realized I've been nodding in acknowledgement on a remote podcast.
I enjoy the combat quite a bit. So when I first played it, I was on mouse and keyboard, and then I swapped to a PS4 controller, which is just fine. I think it's one of those games where if you can swap between the two and be fine. But like the combat doesn't treat you like an idiot. It will kill you in an instant for being an idiot. Like it's one of those where it's like it tells you in all the loading screens like, hey, stop standing still. Because just always be moving is basically how I've started dealing with it. So like when your gun runs out and needs to recharge, you can just start levitating and like psychic blasting stuff across the room. And like if there's nothing around, like no furniture in range, like you aren't like limited to like, oh, I can't start picking stuff up now. It's just like, no, Jesse starts picking up like chunks of the floor and parts of the wall and starts throwing those at them. And so like that's slightly weaker than like throwing a bench, because obviously it's like an infinite source.
Better than nothing though.
It's better than nothing. And there's been multiple times where I've accidentally thrown like in the midst of it being super fast paced and stuff like that, I've thrown like a fire extinguisher straight in my face and just exploded and died. But like the guy who plays Alan Wake is constantly talking around the oldest house in the FMV video stuff, full motion video stuff, where he plays Casper Darling, and he's a crazy like Doc Brown sort of guy.
So does he show up again in the Alan Wake DLC? Is he just straight up playing two characters?
He's playing two characters. So I haven't got to the Alan Wake stuff yet, but as far as I know, he's reprising the role of Alan Wake. And then also the guy who voiced Max Payne is constantly like haunting you, basically. With
so Remedy have got their guys.
They've got their
go-to guys.
They've got their go-to guys, and I think it's like, I
Would they bring that band back from Alan Wake as well? The Poets
so
of the
there
Fall?
So do you know what? I think they did.
I have no complaints with that. They were one of the best things in Alan Wake. I could talk for hours about that fucking farmyard concert.
Yep. Control Poets of the Fall Easter egg. There's so basically there is an anechoic chamber that they're using to like test, like do experiments on like some of the weird stuff, you know, that they found, and that's one of the songs that they're playing to it because, you know, they don't have to then license out songs.
What the Alan Wake songs?
Not the Alan Wake song, but I think it's a brand new song from Poets of the Fall. Yeah, it is the best of Remedy, and also like a lot of the issues that you will have with previous Remedy games of like, why the fuck did I just die? Oh wait, it's because this enemy just suddenly took all my health off and I didn't know what to do. But it's like a major fucking step up from Quantum Break, which I played last year as well. And oh my god, Quantum Break is so bad. It's so bad. It's not only a bad game, but it's also a very bad TV show.
Kind of just mixed in there.
Yeah, and you have to watch the TV show to know what's going on, and it's half an hour each time.
Gross. Interesting idea, but yeah, gross.
An interesting idea, but like, but then Control is like the best like adaptation of a TV show to a game that doesn't exist, if you get what I mean.
So does it still try and do the episodic format?
No. Sorry, it is basically almost Metroidvania in scope.
Okay.
So like, I unlocked the levitation thing. Now I can get up here.
I didn't know if it was just Remedy's thing now since Alan Wake, where everything had episodes.
I think they realized like, shit, it's just better to make a seamless flowing world.
On Control.
Yeah, I guess they do still kind of have the element of the FMV stuff for like real life actors and whatever, but
yeah, like the guy who voices Max Payne was the previous director. That Jesse takes over. He appears as like an apparition, and that's full motion video and looks really fucking cool.
Okay,
because it's just like overlaid while you're walking through the 3D environments and stuff. But I'm excited to see Alan Wake again. I'm excited to see like what they hint at and what they start doing.
Yeah, you're making me
and
really
also
want to play this game.
And also, I'm just like really interested to see where the fuck like Control actually goes from here.
Yeah, I watched a long like hour video essay about it quite a few months ago, and it looked really interesting. But I never actually got around to playing it. I've forgotten all of the details that they said about the stories.
Yeah, but also like even like, whenever these games do like the collectibles on the side, you know, where it's like, oh, you can read the documents and stuff. Like even in Alan Wake, I didn't read those because one, I was a teenager and just wanted to shoot shit. But like usually in these types of games, I rarely ever like actually spend time and sit back. And I think the only one was Metal Gear Solid 5, where I listened to all the cassette tapes.
Yeah,
just because that's where Kiefer Sutherland was. And so like this is like all like, you know, documents, and some of it's redacted, and I'm still like, I'm reading them and I'm just like, this is so fucking well written. In like, it's not twee, it's not like ha 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 ha, you know, it's like you find a memo and it's stuff like, can we please stop posting post-it notes around the one of the objects of power or altered items or whatever keeps cloning the post-it notes, and now one of the offices is now just a giant post-it note. And you find that room later on, and it's like, oh no, it's just covered in post-it notes because it accidentally cloned everything.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm really enjoying my time like going through that game, where, you know, the PC version seems to have a few issues here and there. I was running the DirectX 12 version, which had all the ray tracing stuff, but turned it all off, and then all the metal reflections basically went like super grainy and chunky until I turned off one of the settings. So now everything looks like slightly flat, but you know, if you're playing with ray tracing, you do get a little bit of a spook, you know, when you're walking down a corridor and you see like, oh shit, what's that? And it's like, oh no, it's my reflection.
Interesting. No, you've definitely done a lot more to make me want to play it, because it was always one of those things where I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get to it at some point if I'm really stuck for things to play. But,
yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those where I would say, like, if you are feeling impulsive, buy it now. But I would say maybe feel impulsive later on in December when that Ultimate Edition definitely comes down in price. Because I have to buy the season pass to get the DLC now.
Gross.
Because I own the previous version via the Epic Games Store.
When is the next gen version releasing? Is this
so
like a launch thing?
I think it's a launch thing. I want to say it's a launch thing.
Because I mean, I'm looking to get a PS5 as soon as I can, but I'm pretty short on things to play for it, so that's going to be pretty high on my list.
I know the PC version launches pretty fucking soon. Because it just hit Steam. Somewhere.
Yeah, I can't seem to find a release date anywhere.
But yeah, no, but it's also like, you know, it's one of those stupid things where the publishers marred this great game in fucking controversy because of their greedy antics of like, you need to buy the Ultimate Edition if you want to upgrade to the PS5 version from the PS4 version. It's like, people are like, well, I bought the season pass and the game separately.
Is that not enough for you?
Is that not enough? Like, and they're like, well, you can play that version on the PS5, but you won't get the PS5 version. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Stop being finicky about it.
Anyway, that's Control. That's Control. Go play it. It's good. It's good shit.
I probably will.
Has anyone been playing anything else?
I've got a few things. I got the Dingleberries.
I would like to know how Billy Huggins is doing.
So, yes, I do have a Battleground update for you.
This is
hell yes.
I've been waiting for this. I want to know how he's doing.
So, on this week's installment of Jacob in the Battlegrounds, we have not had an appearance from Billy Huggins, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
This episode is exclusively going to be a women's episode.
Oh, yeah, because you just got the twins, didn't you?
I just got the Vela twins.
I was going to say fella twins.
They manly looking.
So it's spelled Velle, but I get the impression they want you to pronounce it Vela. Even though when you select your character in Battlegrounds, Jerry Lawler says the name of the character through your controller at you. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh my god.
That is the last thing I want.
Yeah. So literally you'll select the character when you go into the story mission. He goes like, Cassie Vel, or whatever.
If you're playing that casually, like, it's going to come from your crotch.
I barely want Jerry Lawler coming out of my TV, let alone other objects around my house.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, he says Vel. I say Vela because it just makes more sense to me. But yeah, so as Lauren said, last time we relinquished control of Voodoo Faith healer TJ Salazar, and then took on control of French punk twins Cassie and Polly Vel or Vela. So let me get my notes here. Yes. So
I live for this, honestly.
They are a tag team, obviously. So this is kind of like the tag team portion of the campaign. And first of all, Steve Austin lines up the perfect training partners for the Vel twins, which would be Carmella and Alicia Fox.
Oh,
yes. Who like the biggest heel possible. I beat them by countout. So upon defeating them, the Velas are getting pampered after their match to celebrate. So they've got like a jacuzzi going and they're getting their hair done.
Are they in Damian Priest's hot tub?
It very well could be. You know what? With the weird things that this game throws at you, we'll say that's canon. Yeah. They're in Damian Priest's hot tub, which is in the middle of like an army base because that's where we're wrestling for some reason. Steve Austin finds them, and because he overhears one of them complaining about there being too much blueberry in her fruit-infused detox water.
Oh.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, he says he moans that they shouldn't be getting pampered at boot camp. So Austin starts training them extra hard, including having them do that kind of barbed wire crawl thing.
I'm going to be honest, I was really worried that he was just going to stun them.
He could have done. That's the end of the campaign. That's the end of their section.
You got to be careful with that, Steve.
Well, yeah. So yeah, he starts training them extra hard, doing like army exercises and things, including that crawl that you do under the barbed wire.
Oh, gosh.
while also shooting at them. It's not really made clear.
What? He's got a gun now?
Yeah, because one of the twins is like, "Are those real bullets?" And they're like, "I don't want to think about it." And I'm like, "Is he genuinely shooting?"
What? He must have some shit aim.
Yeah.
Put a couple bullets in him.
Yeah,
wait for some chili dogs.
So yeah, then one of them has a match with Asuka as part of this training, and I'm honestly not sure which would be more deadly, Asuka or the bullets. But I jobbed the fuck out of her anyway. I beat Asuka's ass and won by jumping off of a helicopter directly onto her.
What?
You can, in the army base level, you can go on a helicopter and fly up in the air and jump out of it and land on them.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. So it's not moving, and then when you get on it, it flies away. Like
it just kind of flies over and lands on the side of the ring. No, so it just kind of flies over and lands on the side of the ring.
Someone is standing by in the helicopter,
waiting for that finisher.
You walk up to it, get into the side of it, and then they fly up, and then you can control where it goes, and then you jump out. Yeah,
it's completely fair. Like if Asuka were to get to the helicopter first, I presume she could have used it.
Yeah.
It's just like the next level of tables under the ring.
Exactly. It's all legal in the battlegrounds. Asuka, after this match, calls the twins evil. So they're now the Evil Twins. That is their team name. Austin tells them to embrace their heelish nature and actually brings in Alexa Bliss to teach them how to be heels.
Of course.
To where I beat Alexa Bliss in a cage match. She's nice to them and says that they're good heels. And this makes them physically throw up in their mouths. She's being nice to them. But they've won a lot, though. So, as Batista would say, he's going to give them what they want.
What they really, really want.
Which is the Bella Twins. If you remember, the Bella Twins hate the Bella Twins.
Oh, God.
So we get a match against the Bella Twins. The Bellas and the Vellas make fun of each other's weight and hair color, like a 2005 Women's Raw segment.
This just confirms that no women were on this team at all.
They were just like, "Oh, you're skinnier in person. I guess that means you're going to be even weaker than I thought." And it's like, all right.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So we beat the Bellas, of course. And then we get flown to the Performance Center where they have background checks ran on them. And it turns out that the Bellas are criminals. They've got any misdemeanors to their name. And they assure Paul Heyman that they've changed. But Heyman's like, I fucking hope not, because that means that you wouldn't be badasses.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's the end of the Vela Twins story at the very least. I admit, I wasn't that engaged in it. It wasn't that interesting. But
I preferred Rey Mysterio's random appearance when you're shopping.
He owns a clothes shop. But then Austin moves on to the next area of the story. He's scouting in Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh, no.
Oh shit.
Oh, yes.
Oh, baby.
So, Steve Austin's in the airport, and a mystery person steals and breaks Austin's suitcase in baggage and runs away with it.
Just smashes the suitcase over his knee.
It's hard to understand what happened because it looks like it broke, but I'm like, why would she just run up and break a suitcase? Like, what's her game?
Just for shits.
Yeah. So anyway, he chases down the person that did this, and the best way I can describe this new original character is Buff Merida from Brave.
Oh, no! Like, Merida ate all the bears and became a wrestler.
Yeah. To where he's like, why'd you fucking break my case? And she threatens him back and picks him up with one hand, and the frame that they have of Austin's face looks like he's a little turned on by it.
How bad is her Scottish accent?
Well, they don't voice anything. That's the thing. It was all in my head. So yes, we've now left the Vellas to now become Jessica Johnson, the Scottish Buff Merida. Her battleground itself is a castle because, of course, we're in Scotland, and that's what Scotland's like. We fight Ember Moon first. Jessica has horrible bagpipe music because, of course, Scotland again.
Oh, God.
The match was pretty unremarkable, other than she stunned me briefly during the match because Ember Moon picked up some bagpipes and played them badly. But I still managed to win the match regardless.
Is that your kryptonite when you're Jessica?
It must be, yeah. She up and she's like, my ears. So once I won the match, she wanted Ember Moon to bow to her. Moon sulks off and says she's never coming to Scotland again.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Next opponent is Natalia, who says that because she's the Queen of Hearts, she wants to fight this new Scottish person who thinks she's a queen. Jessica says she doesn't like foreign royals, to where Natalia responds that that's no way to address nobility. And the only reason I mention this is because address was spelt wrong.
Oh, God.
And that's pretty much where I got up to. So I've got Natalia next as Buff Merida. And then I think we've got about 3 chapters after this.
I can't believe you've actually dedicated more hours than I think you ever intended to this game.
It doesn't take long. There's so many side missions you can do where I'm like, no, I'm not touching those. I'm literally just passing through the story, and that's it.
Yeah, I need to know more.
So we'll see how good Jessica Johnson does, and then I think we've got like 1 or 2 main chapters left, and then WrestleMania.
Oh boy, have you pointed at the sign yet, Jacob?
No one's pointed at the sign yet. Austin's just kind of been like, yeah, you're pretty good. I guess you can get on WrestleMania.
Oh, good.
The WrestleMania sign just hanging in that large Scottish castle.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one everywhere. You gotta take it with you.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of the crew getting there first with this big rolled up sign. Like, come on, lads, we've got to hang this up before they get here.
It's just a poster.
Yeah,
they
pretty much.
Slap it on the wall in case they need to point.
Yeah. So that
Vince has a little fold-up one in his wallet just in case.
I got to shoot on this in actually. At about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh God!
I really can't remember how it came up, but Lauren had never seen Vince McMahon's bare body.
And I wish that it had stayed that way.
She didn't know of his rippling physique.
Oh, right.
And that was the last image that she saw. The classic muscle and fitness chain shot.
Gross old man, Vince.
I was about to go to sleep and he was like, hang on, I get to show you Vince McMahon without a shirt.
You need a new sleep paralysis demon.
And he just rolled over and checked.
There you go.
It was because we were talking about the Battle of the Billionaires, which also led to me having a nightmare about Donald Trump kidnapping my dog.
Oh,
honestly, I woke up this morning to Ollie jerking awake.
It was
really frightened. He was like, "I've had a bad dream."
It was genuinely horrifying because it felt so real. He was
in our spare room.
President Trump was staying in our spare room for some reason.
And what were you doing to President Trump?
And I was grating cheese over his head to mock him. And I went downstairs, and my sister. I missed this part. My sister was round, and she was crying, but she wouldn't tell me why. Which in hindsight was because she knew that Trump had kidnapped the dog, but she couldn't tell me. And then I heard a whimper from upstairs and went upstairs to find Donald Trump lying on my sofa bed holding my dog with a gun to its head.
Oh my God, that's intense.
It was genuinely horrifying.
Well, I talked to him about it this morning and he was like, I was like, oh my God, what was your dream? Like, he was visibly shaken by this. And he was like, it was really horrible, but you're going to laugh when I tell you.
The gist of it was that Trump wanted to keep the dog, and if he couldn't, he was going to shoot the dog. And the only way that I could get the dog back was if I endorsed him on Twitter. And I think that was about the moment that I was jerked awake. But
you physically couldn't see yourself doing that. And that's when you knew it was a dream.
I had to share that.
And now Lauren has the image of Vince McMahon as well.
Honestly, like, imagine that. Like, you're just about to go to sleep and that's what you see before you go to bed. I'm surprised it wasn't me with the nightmares.
Hey, pal. Chain.
Do you want a steaked wrap? Catch up. It's good shit, pal.
Oh God.
So yeah. Anyways, that was Battlegrounds.
That was
played that for about half an hour.
We could
an
easily
hour.
pass off my dream as a Battleground storyline.
It could be, if Steve Austin was there and I don't know, he came up to you and was like, "Wow, you did a really good job fighting off Donald Trump there."
Hall of Famer Donald Trump.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think if Donald Trump hadn't become president, do you think that WWE would be having him on TV regularly?
I'm certain he would have been a playable character in a 2K game.
Do you think that if he wasn't president right now, do you think they would have him on TV to endorse whoever, Linda McMahon's trying to work for?
I am sure with him being president, they've attempted to get him on TV.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. Can you imagine the locker room reaction?
I think it'd be pretty split, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just AJ Styles and Lars Sullivan saluting him as he comes in.
Jackson Riker.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn gives him the boot.
Yeah. Local hero, Sami Zayn.
That's for Syria.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, I have been playing some other things as well.
Yes.
Played a bit more Crash 4, and that game has made me angrier than I've been at a game in a long time. It's just really, really hard. It's really hard. Definitely
not since Crash Bandicoot 3
have
I been this angry.
It's weird because I think because I've played those first 3 games so much, the Insane trilogy didn't kind of get to me quite so much because I was really familiar with it. But yeah, they've really, like I said when I did obviously my initial reactions to it, that it doesn't kind of fuck around and it does ramp things up quite quickly. It just ramps them up even more. I've unlocked the third mask now, the third kind of different gameplay mechanic, which is slowing down time for a few seconds, which has some really interesting applications. My favorite of which being you can slow down time, jump on nitro crates, and they don't blow up straight away. So there's like lines of nitro crates you can run across while you've got time slowed down, and it doesn't kill you because obviously nitro crates instantly blow up normally. And that leads to some creative and fun little platforming challenges there. They've introduced the next guest kind of character as well. How I said that Torna was a new character in there. I've been able to play as my favorite Crash villain, which is Dingo Dial. He's so much fun to play as. He's, instead of a flamethrower, he's got a vacuum, and you like suck up tons and tons of boxes all at once. And he's got like a different moveset. He's got like a little hover instead of a double jump or something. And yeah, that's super fun. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, really hard. So I've not really made that much progress, but still chipping away with that.
You put all your skill points into Hades.
That's true.
You'll have to get a respec potion to put them into Crash Bandicoot.
It got to a point yesterday where I started playing Crash, got annoyed with it, was like, well, fine, I'm just going to fucking play Hades then. And then played Hades for hours and hours, and then, went back to Crash a little bit afterwards. So, yeah, played that. I guess the main new thing, that I played was I played Steve in Smash.
Oh, yes. How is...
He is a really interesting character in the sense that they've obviously put a lot of thought into it. The only way that I can think of kind of describing it is that it's really unlike anything else in the game. He's really, really unique. And considering from what Sakurai said in the original stream where he was like, we have our own ideas about what we want to put in the game, and obviously we have our own kind of ideas relating to those. But this was very much a case of the higher-ups at Nintendo coming to us and being like, we can probably get Steve in Smash if you guys want to make it. And considering it wasn't an original idea of theirs, they've done a really, really good job of implementing it. He can kind of traverse the stage really expansively. Like, he can technically get higher than Kirby can.
Is that from just putting blocks down?
Yeah, genuinely, just jump and put blocks down. You can just keep doing that. and it makes you really kind of not strictly mobile because it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it means that you can, like, there's videos up of people like literally in the stage builder making massive kind of chasms for him to cross, and you just jump, put a block down, jump, put a block down, you can get across the whole thing. Which is interesting.
I was expecting him to be well received, but I've been watching this, been watching some videos and hearing you talk about it now. Is just sort of like they did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, even adding
conversing this guy.
Yeah, even adding in the crafting stuff. So you have a crafting table kind of automatically placed somewhere in the level in each kind of fight that can get destroyed, but it does respawn after a few seconds somewhere else. And that's how you upgrade your weapons, because if you just hold, I think it's just the normal special, he'll just start mining wherever he is. And then you can go to the crafting table and hold B again, and that will upgrade your weapon to either like an iron sword or a gold one or a diamond one, depending on what you mined. It's completely random, I think, the mining side of things. So yeah, it's just cute little things like that I'm like, they do a really good job of in like kind of integrating these characters from not even Nintendo based properties into their game. And yeah, no, he's very cool. I won't say I'll be using him really very much if I'm going to be playing kind of competitively as I do play, which isn't very. But yeah, no, he's a very unique character. I had fun while playing with him, and yeah, they've done a good job. I really enjoyed it, and the stage is pretty cool as well. It's just got Minecraft music in the background, which I've always thought was a bit shit.
What, the plinky plonk?
Yeah, they've done like a few remixes of those songs, and it's still a bit weird. Yeah,
you'd think you'd bring in someone that's done like actual Minecraft remixes from YouTube. It was like, make us a song instead of. I was watching some videos and like people pointing out like his trip animation when he's on the edge of the stage is just him looking into the abyss.
Yeah,
because he doesn't animate like everybody else. And then also I think everyone started pointing out that his win animation is rude.
I've not actually seen the win animations because I only really played him in training mode.
So he's holding
Oh no, I have seen this actually. I've seen a screenshot. I know what you're going to say.
He's holding like some pork or like a pickaxe or something, and it just looks like he's got a big dong.
Literally just holding it kind of adjacent to his crotch. Yeah, it looks like a throbbing member.
Yeah.
Steve's throbbing member.
Yeah.
Jacob's just really keen to read that erotic audiobook.
Well, yeah, I'm all about it. The skins are also pretty cool. I played the Enderman skin as well, which is, if I were to play him, I'd probably use that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next, because this is a really good job.
Glad this works out for them and wasn't just a flaming wreck.
People that still hate it, even though it's really well implemented and it's creative and nice. I'm sure people are like, "Oh, it's not going to be competitive, though. I don't want to play as a kid's character in my kid's game."
Yeah, how dare you put something in the game where Kirby is a viable character?
Yeah. Oh my god, can't believe they're putting Steve up against Jigglypuff.
Oh
yeah. Otherwise I've been on I mean, one of the main other reasons why I haven't really been playing Crash 4 was because I've still been playing along a lot of Danganronpa 2, which is still very hard to talk about without getting spoilery. I would just recommend it to people who like mystery games and with a lot of kind of wacky characters in it.
Yeah, the more you talk about those games, the more I'm starting to lean into wanting to play them. So I will probably seek that out at some point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else. No, if it comes to me, I'll chime in. But yeah.
Lauren?
Yes?
You didn't really have much to talk about this week.
No, I haven't really played much.
But you did have something that you wanted to ask us.
I
question
enjoy a question. Very often I will just throw one at Ollie And
I believe this is how the Battle of the Billionaires talk happened.
Yeah, because we weren't like, when you go to bed and you're not sleepy and you end up just talking about complete shit.
Did you ever have a sleepover with your friends and that friend just didn't want to go to sleep?
Yes.
And just started talking
is
shit
that
at
basically
you? This is my life.
No, because sometimes, when you just, I don't know, I'm a rambler and I just, yeah, so basically it's my turn to bring you all to just a question and take a second to think about it.
Shitfire questions.
It is a shitfire bean, and I would just like to know.
That's the segment name now.
Oh, Christ.
Shitfire beans.
So, take a second, but if you could erase any game in a franchise, what would it be? Why? And would you just erase it, or would you replace it? Or what would you do? Like, would you leave that bit blank? Would you just remove it completely? Or would you be like, this is how it should have been? I'd like to know.
Ooh.
This is a really easy one for me.
Go ahead then, while they think.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh. I thought you were going to... I mean, this might be... Actually, I won't, because I think I thought I had an answer for what you were going to give, but I feel like Lauren might give it instead.
Yes.
Okay. No, Mass Effect Andromeda is... I don't think it's as bad a game as the rep it gets. It's just dull as hell, and it pretty much sabotaged that series to the point I don't know how long it'll be till we see it. Obviously, there's this remastered trilogy that's probably happening, but obviously Andromeda was gonna be a series, and all the backlash just kind of made that disappear into thin air.
Yep, they cancelled that. Whatever plans they had, fucking binned immediately.
Yeah, I fucking love the Mass Effect series. Even with the Mass Effect 3 ending, I think Mass Effect 3 is a great game.
I have my reservations about Mass Effect 3, but I am one of the original ending defenders of just looking at it from a...
I didn't like the ending, but ending aside, I feel like I could make a case for any of those games being the best in the series. Even one with the poor combat. Everything else about that game is incredibly strong. I am still so attached to those characters. I just love the genuine impact of all your choices that will carry across everything. And again, that's where the ending just kind of fucks it, because it's a choice between what color light you get. But Andromeda was a pretty novel idea. It was a good way of branching out when you couldn't really continue after that ending, because the whole universe is in such a different state that you would basically just be rebooting it. It had some cool concepts with the kind of terraforming and the colonization of worlds, but it was just there was just so much missing, and there was fucking atrocious facial animations. And I never finished it, and I don't think I ever will. I really doubt I will be going back to play Mass Effect Andromeda.
I don't think anybody will.
Unless I really get the bug after that trilogy comes out and I just want to see a conclusion of it.
So would you remove it completely, or would you change it in any way?
I would remove it completely and just leave a gap there and leave as much time to pass where they think, you know what, we can try and do Mass Effect again. And maybe something better will come
I
of it.
see where you're coming from.
It's not even about how bad the game was, because as I said, I don't think it's awful. I think it has the strongest combat in Mass Effect. The combat is actually pretty fun, but combat was never the focus of Mass Effect.
Mass Effect 3 would try and convince you otherwise.
Yeah, again, Mass Effect 3 they pretty much leaned into Gears of War combat at that point. Executions and all, with the kind of Omni Blade that you had. No, it's the combat's pretty fun. You get a lot more freedom, especially if you're playing the kind of the biotic classes, which are basically your mages. You can do like the biotic jump, which adds a lot of verticality to it, which is really fun. And I think if I had any other friends that were playing that game, I might have even kind of got into the multiplayer because it was a fun shooter, but nobody was playing that game. So that game has just died and pretty much taken a very beloved series with it for me. So yeah, wipe that game from existence.
Deleted. Next.
Jacob?
Yes.
Do you have an answer in your head?
I have a couple I could bandy about. If we want a recent example, this isn't my main one, but if we want a recent example, then I would say the Square Enix Avengers game can get to fuck. That game was
the most useless video game ever created.
Good lord. I still bought it and was like, well, I'll play through the single player and I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be a fun little thing that I can play for like a week. And as soon as I got past, obviously you do the prologue bit with Kamala and then you end up meeting up with Bruce Banner again. And so you have like a Hulk and Kamala kind of duo mission where you take control of Hulk and actually go through what I would say is a fairly well crafted, well made kind of single player level. The next thing that you do is you go into what looks like the bulk of the rest of the game, which is just these big open expanses with fucking nothing in them that are completely based around the multiplayer side of things. So there's not even really much of a single player element to it past that very beginning bit. And that completely put me off. And I'm like, yeah, there's such scope to do a good superhero game based on the Avengers, or even even here in my room right now, I've got the old X-Men Legends games on the GameCube. Those were fantastic. I feel like superhero games aren't that hard to mess up because there's so much cool stuff you can do in them, but the obviously all of the kind of live service element of it just completely fucked it all.
I mean, do you see that game getting any better? Because obviously they want to keep updating it. They want to follow the
I think it's just too repetitive. I know they want to add in new characters, like they obviously announced that Ant-Man and Hawkeye and people like that are coming to it. But providing, Spider-Man on the PS4, which, I just think as long as you're doing the same things which you're doing now, which is, just beating up faceless AIM goons and robots, you're not even fighting against cool, like, supervillains. There's, like, 4 supervillains in that whole game. Then you're just going to be kind of doing it with a different set of skills, and it's just not going to, it wouldn't hold my attention. I'm sure it might hold some people who like that kind of gameplay loop of, kill more faceless bad guys, get slightly better gear it on, and then kill some more guys to make it even stronger and so on. But it just really didn't do it for me. That wasn't my main example. That was just kind of a recent one I could think of. My main example is one that is a bit of a niche one. Probably didn't affect you guys as much as it affected me. But this was BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Was this the one that had that Rooster Teeth show in it?
It did. So it did have Ruby in it. It was a crossover fighting game, 2v2 fighting game that had BlazBlue, Persona, Under Night, and Ruby in it. Which at the time when it was announced, sounded like the best thing ever for me, because BlazBlue's like one of my favorite series of all time. I would still say it was a really big part of my kind of gaming side when I was a teen. It was kind of like the main fighter I really got into because it had a super deep story. There's so much lore behind it, and it was just really nice to kind of dive into that. Persona I'd kind of dabbled with. I didn't know anything about Under Night, and I was also super into Ruby as well, because, Rooster Teeth, it was really cool fight scenes and all that jazz. And so I was super excited when that got announced, but then a bit later down the line, the business model for this game got released, or at least the kind of news of what it was going to be came out, and it was that they were going to have a fraction of the initially planned roster when the game comes out, because they wanted to get the game out pretty much as quick as possible. And then the rest of the cast you'd have to pay for as DLC. So there was, I think, a vast majority of the characters in that game now are DLC, because there was like 16 odd, maybe 20 characters from the start, and then they've added so many in afterwards just because they wanted to get the game out earlier, to the point where even one of the main 4 franchises that they had in the game, Ruby, it had 2 characters from RWBY in the release build of the game. They didn't even have the full Team RWBY in the game that's supposed to feature RWBY characters. It literally had Ruby and Weiss, and Blake and Yang were free DLC later on, and they've done like 5 season passes since then. And I'm just like, you've taken several of these franchises that I like, mashed them together into a game that should really, really be for me, but you've completely put me off with the way you've approached this. So yeah, I wouldn't strictly say I'd delete the game, because I'd still very much like to play it. I've still not played it on principle. And I would just change it so they take more time on it, release it a year later maybe, and just actually have it be a complete game upon release, because that's bullshit. Rant over. Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to
It's okay. I haven't thought about it in ages, but yeah, I remember I was absolutely raging at the time, yeah.
Oof.
So if I delete, say, from this metaphorical question, this universe that we've created,
yes.
if I delete, say, the first game in a franchise, does that mean all the subsequent sequels are also deleted?
I feel like that's a separate question. That's like delete a franchise instead of delete a game.
You can literally it doesn't affect anything that came after, but you can just remove something, or just like take it out and put
forget about the butterfly effect.
Yeah, no butterfly effect. You're just deleting a game, and you can discuss what you think they should have done, or you can just delete it and say nothing more.
Oh, because I was gonna say I would delete Borderlands if the butterfly effect would happen, because then that means Gearbox wouldn't be where it is today.
Who knows where Randy Pitchford would be?
Probably in prison for putting
his antics.
For his antics in his local restaurant, leaving his child porn on a USB stick.
What do you mean?
Allegedly.
It was for magic purposes.
It was for magic purposes. It had magic spells on it.
Yeah.
Who leaves a fucking USB stick in the local medieval
Waffle House
eatery, whatever the fuck it was? I don't know. Fuck Randy Pitchford. But anyway, speaking of fucking Randy Pitchford, Duke Nukem Forever is the game that I would choose.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would choose that mostly because, oh my god, I'd just delete it from existence. Just like, beep, done. No one remembers it. That's it.
I feel like if I had the choice,
you would
to
say
do that.
You would say,
sorry,
what, 12 years of work.
That's the thing. If I had the choice to delete it or not, I feel like I would choose not to, just because of, as we said a lot in our first ranking video, the historical significance of Duke Nukem Forever. It's it's one of those like amazing stories in video games that I feel like needs to be preserved.
It would be great to preserve it and
the
find
development of that game in a museum.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, is like all the development, all the interesting bits of Duke Nukem Forever are forever locked behind lawyers and a vault, basically, because even though Randy Pitchford decided, I'm gonna buy Duke Nukem Forever and put him in and start putting him in, and then like all this, it's like, actually, he fucked it up even more by actually releasing Duke Nukem Forever into the world instead of just going, do you know what, guys? We'll rewrite this. We'll redo this, and everyone ignore what was previously in development. Oh my god! Like, I would delete that game so fast. Like, it's not even like, the only reason I asked about the Borderlands thing of like the butterfly effect was just because like that would mean that like Duke Nukem Forever couldn't happen.
You're just, either way, the way you're looking at this is, how can I best effectively get rid of Duke Nukem Forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was Duke Nukem Forever post Borderlands?
Yes, 2012.
Yes, I think that was that after Borderlands 2?
Borderlands 1 was 2009, which gave them the money to, because it sold so well, gave them the money to then buy the rights to Duke Nukem Forever, which came out Duke Nukem Forever was 2011?
Yeah, Borderlands 2 was September 2012, so that's probably not.
Yeah, and then Borderlands 2 obviously recouped all the costs from
Duke
Nukem Forever and Alien Colonial Marines. But yeah, no, like, if we were to think about like butterfly effects and stuff like that, like I would probably take the bullet and say like Max Payne, because that means that 3D Realms couldn't continue to make any money off Max Payne, which is the reason why they lasted so long, was just Max Payne 1 and 2 money before Rockstar took over publishing. Yeah, no, Duke Nukem Forever. It's such a curse on all the people that worked on it, and it's such a curse to everybody around, because it's just like we're never going to see any of the interesting bits to do with Duke Nukem Forever, which is like, hey, that 2001 demo definitely doesn't exist, but I want to see the files.
Yeah.
You know,
watch the trailer.
I want to see what engine they were working on when it was Quake 2. You know, I want to see whatever Jace Hall saw in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Where they showed 3 seconds on screen, and it had the Duke Nukem 3D machine gun.
Cool.
I don't know.
Interesting. That's a good choice, though.
Yeah, that'd be the game that I would erase. I just go squish like a bug.
That's an acceptable answer. I knew
squish. You would rip off its head and shit down its neck.
Yes, I'd squish its balls of steel.
Did you say shit down its neck?
Yeah,
that's what Duke Nukem says.
What he says.
I just know him for the other white meat. Have you not?
What?
Yeah. No, honestly, there's
white meat.
Yeah, because there was a Duke Nukem game for like PC, like when I was super young, and it was like a really, really old one.
Are these the originals? Before he became edgy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Duke Nukem 3D was the third one.
Yeah, no, there was one that it was still, you played it just by like a disc in the PC, and it was just like super old.
Yeah.
And
well, PC.
If he was speaking, it's definitely post 3D. It might be one of the 3D 2D platforming games.
Yeah, it was one of those, and it was one of the one-liners that he said after he killed one of the pigs.
What an odd quote to have branded in your mind.
Yeah, I remember my dad's friend like burnt a copy of it for my dad to play, and then my dad was like, "Oh, this is a video game. Here, kids." And that was my introduction to Duke Nukem, because I was like, "Oh, my Arthur game isn't loading. How can I do maths with Arthur?" And then I was like, "Oh, look what other games we've got. Maths with Arthur isn't loading. Neither's Barbie Riding School." And then I played Duke Nukem, and my world was changed.
Nice.
That's when my angsty teenage years clearly begun.
Did you just listen to the Megadeth cover of
Death Grab? Oh, that terrible cover that I listened to ad nauseum.
Lauren
doesn't beat the 2001 cover of that song though. The super Americanized one with trumpets.
Oh God.
Oh yeah,
trumpets.
Lauren,
what would you pick? Okay, so mine pains me because, like, I think Jacob knows what I'm gonna pick, judging
based
from
on what you said in previous podcasts. I think I have an idea.
It's not that I would delete it entirely. It is just that, like, they had so much they could have done and they fucking fucked it. So I would probably remove Sword and Shield.
Fuck those games.
Because I fucking love Pokemon, and I will I moan about it every single time, but I will still chump it up and buy both copies every fucking year, because, well, this time I didn't have to, because obviously I got one and Ollie got the other.
Yeah, fuck the whole multiple versions model.
Excuse me, Ollie, this is my time to talk about this.
You'll get me worked up too.
And it had so much potential, as did, I would say this does also apply to Sun and Moon, but I still got enjoyment out of Sun and Moon. I still got enjoyment out of Sword and Shield, but I've only played
Sun and Moon have the limitations of a 3DS. That is their excuse.
Yeah, but like I usually play through each Pokemon game like 4 or 5 times minimum. Like I've definitely played like Heart Gold, Soul Silver like over 10 times. Like I've played X and Y probably over 10 times. The Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, and also Oras. I've played them
your warm nostalgia blanket
so many times because it has so much replayability for me, because I'm like, ooh, should I theme my team? I'm gonna have a dark team, I'm gonna be angsty, and like I'll just create my own character and go through it with like different. It's just, I love it. Like I love Pokemon and I always look forward to it. And it's such a big day for me, like the Pokemon release day. And I actually really like the decks for Sword and Shield. I like the Gala decks, and I do like some of the map. The issue I have is that, one, it's the hand-holdiness. I fucking hate it. You can't walk 2 steps without a cutscene, and then your buddy being like, oh boy, here's how you catch a Pokemon, and 30 minutes later, I've still not caught a Pokemon, because they're still telling me how to do stuff, and you're like, oh, let's go to this town. You walk 3 steps. Oh, are you coming to this town? Yes, if you let me get there!
Pokemon Sword and Shield just further drives my need for I've played a Nintendo game before button.
Like, because I just want it to let me live. Let me enjoy the game.
Like, yeah, like you wish that there was a tutorial skip button, but then there's also the aspect of like, every Nintendo game, every mainline Pokemon game, every main Mario game is someone's first.
Yeah, and I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care about the little rats that are like, oh, mummy, I can't play the game. I don't give a fuck. I've been playing these games since I was young. I had to suffer through Pokemon Yellow. I cried because I couldn't get out the fucking house. But look where I am today. I know what I'm doing and I want a challenge. And don't even get me started on how fucking lazy the game is. Oh my god, like the first few routes are beautiful. Like the way that they are done, beautiful. And then the last few routes, like the second half of the game is like 3 steps, oop, the route's over. It's not even a route, it's a fucking lane. Like, you just can't do anything. Like, it's just so lazy and easy. And I'm clearly needing therapy still over this, because I'm just disappointed, and I think I've put off talking about it or addressing the issues because I'm really salty that they fucking ruined my favorite franchise. Like, it's just not what it used to be, and I hate that I'm disappointed in a game. Like, it's just, I would prefer to wait a few more years for them to do it properly. And I want difficulty scaling on a Pokemon game. You have the best of both worlds, where you literally, even if it's just upping the levels.
Yeah, you would think difficulty scaling is something that can very easily be implemented, because literally all you have to do is up the levels.
Up the levels, remove the tutorials. It's literally that easy. I want a difficult mode. I want a challenge, because otherwise I have to make other ways of trying to like the first thing I do when I get the EXP share is turn it off, because it's cheating. Like, it makes things way too easy. I want a Pokemon game where I don't feel bored, which I definitely did starting from Sun and Moon. I enjoyed Sun and Moon more than Sword and Shield, but like that's definitely where I started to fucking lose the plot. Like XY was also handholdy, but I really enjoyed those games. But I don't want to be. I hate that the long-term fans just have to suffer because Nintendo only cares about getting the kids into the franchise and holding their hand and being like, oh, but what if the kids can't do it? Tough.
Deal with it. Yeah, I was very much kind of...
They should have been born earlier.
I cried because I couldn't get out of Mount Moon. Where's that struggle for today's children?
No, you don't have none of that. I feel like when I played the game, I kind of, breezed through it and was like, it was okay. But I feel like I've just been conditioned to the point now where I'm just like, Pokemon games are just kind of okay now. They're not like great. I was like, that was okay. And then kind of as you reflect on it, you're like, actually, I mean, there's a lot of scope that could be improved on. And it was a bit of a disappointment. I think just my favorite thing about it is Grookey. And even then, his final evolution was stupid looking. So I wish I never evolved him.
I have a real problem with how they always have to make Pokemon like humanoid and bipedal.
Yeah,
and
the star Pokemon are characters now.
I hate it. Just let them be a cute animal that turns into another cute animal that's a bit scarier and a bit different. But
what if they want to put him in Smash?
Don't even get me started on my disappointment with Incineroar because I'm still not over it. I was so excited when we finally had a fire dark starter. It was a cat. I was envisioning this beautiful sleek panther, and then we got a fucking WWE character.
Wrestle Tiger.
He's so cool though.
No,
yeah, no, I like him.
It's hideous.
In Smash, he's so fun to play as.
I called mine Hiroshi after Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I'm just mad that they made gender typed fucking, like, you've got like the fair Decidueye was okay, but then you've got like a super feminine water type and a super masculine fire type that, fair enough, keep them to one gender, but no, you can still have them the other gender. Like,
yeah.
Women can wrestle.
Yeah, but do women have...
And men can be mermaids.
Yes, no, they'd be mermen. But like, it just...
Got him.
I just... Yeah,
I get where you're coming from.
I have a lot of salt towards my favourite franchise going to shit. And just don't even get me started about how I just will sit here forever wanting a Gen 4 remake, whilst also secretly hoping they don't, because they'll probably fucking ruin that too.
Don't worry, you got that Tencent game coming.
Yeah, I think the only major enjoyment I got out of Sun and Moon was when I was deep within the Pokemon TCG. And those Sun and Moon cards were really fucking good. GX Evolution. GX moves.
I'll tell you word for it.
That was fun. You got a little piece of cardboard in the packet, and you've got to flip it over, and then you could use it once per game. That was good shit. Good shit, pal. No, that's also the only way that I learnt like the Sun and Moon like Pokemon roster was via the Pokemon card game.
I still can tell you half of them myself.
I can tell you the starters, I think, and then that's about it.
Well, yeah. That was my question. I hope it lived up to the hype.
It was a good talking point.
I'll
good
have a new one for you next week, or if anyone else has one. But like, I have these thought-provoking questions that will just get the ball rolling.
All end in you screaming into the microphone.
I didn't expect that to happen. It was a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde moment. I apologise for my behaviour, but I'm not sorry for what I said.
There you go.
Well,
the classic Twitter apology.
I'm so sorry that I had been caught out.
HH.
Brother.
Working yourself into a shoot, you stupid
Jabroni marks.
So speaking of jabroni marks, that's gonna do it for this episode of BeansTalk. Thank you for joining us. We will have, hopefully, Halloween video content for you.
Oh, I hope you're all ready for Halloween.
Halloween's. If we don't just assume that everything broke and we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But no, I have been downloading and patching a copy of Silent Hill for the PC. So
great.
Look forward to that.
This is why we let Joel handle most of the technical side.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking great. Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition. Download this DirectX 9 driver. Have fun.
On that note.
Gaming.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.